From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
Four-quarter football game, right? And we're going to take 4 quarters and defense, get the 4th down stop. Huge! Huge! Hey, and then offensively, a 15-play drive to bleed that clock out, and then Julian, you get the... Championship starting the division, right? We got one. We got another division game next week, right? So get your bodies right, get your minds right, because we're going to go do that again in Jacksonville next week. All right? Stepped up big time. He's done it twice now. 10, break us down.
Let's go! You fight to the end, and you find a way! Hey, gang on 3. 1, 2, 3, gang!
Another week, another victory speech, and another interview with head coach Shane Steichen to kick off this week's Colts 360. Coach, we talked through the first 4 weeks about the emphasis on finishing games. How strong of a statement is it when you're able to finish a game with a walk-off, so to speak, interception by your defense? Yeah,
no, it was huge. We knew going into that game against Tennessee, playing a division opponent at home, we knew it was going to take all 4 quarters. And the guys stepped up, Zaire and Buck made the huge 4th down stop. I mean, that was the momentum change right there. And then obviously offensively to have, a 7-minute drive there at the end and not leave them much time on the clock was huge. But it was a great job on the offense and the defense right there to finish.
I had the 4th down stop in particular noted here because there are a lot of great defensive stats you can point to that game, holding Tennessee to just 89 yards rushing in particular. But as you point to that key moment that Buck and Zaire were able to combine on, how well does that illustrate what your defense has just been since the very beginning of the season?
They've been tremendous, from the start, and then obviously now, going into, week 6, but having, to hold Tennessee, to 80, yards rushing, whatever it was, and then to hold Derrick Henry to 42 or 43 yards just speaks volumes to the way they're preparing every week, getting ready for opponents.
That final minute, too, everyone in the locker room said, oh, we had so much confidence in our defense. No, you have conviction in them as well. How have you seen their confidence continue to grow over the course of this season in pivotal moments like that to shut games out?
Yeah, no, it's huge. Anytime you have an opportunity to go out and finish the game like our defense did, it was huge. Obviously, we got great pressure from the defensive line, and then Julian to get that interception right there at the end was huge. But obviously, when you're playing at a high level and you're continuing to have success, it just continues to grow and grow, and we got to do a good job of keeping that going.
Also huge on Sunday, Zach Moss, a career day all around from him. 165 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, averaged like 7.2 yards per carry. But what did he showcase in particular on that massive 56-yard touchdown run?
Well, I think it started up front with the offensive line. I mean, everybody, it almost became 5 single blocks, and Freeland on the outside, Quentin, Ryan, Fries, and Smith, and then the tight end. I mean, it just the way that it opened up, and they were kind of in a zero coverage look with no safety, and that he just creased that thing and hit it, and credit to the offensive line, and then Zach hitting it with speed.
What has Tony Sperano been able to do in particular with that group that has made them so successful, especially when you look to guys like Blake Freeland and Wesley French have had to step up too as well in big wins?
I think, the one thing that Tony does a great job with those guys is believing, right? It's one unit, right? It's playing 5 as one, and getting that belief going, right? And the communication's on point, and the toughness and the physicality that he's brought, to that room with those guys. They're playing together as one right now, and it's awesome to see.
Got to talk about Jonathan Taylor, his season debut, the addition he is to your run game. You told me before the game he was going to be on a pitch count, expectedly so, coming off of the injury. But his presence alone, what does that do, not just for your offense, but for your entire locker room, and then for you as a play caller to have a weapon, a home run hitter, as you described?
Yeah, no, it's huge to have an elite player like him, back in the fold. Obviously, him and Zach in the backfield and the way our offensive line is blocking. It's going to be awesome to see going forward. But again, just excited to have him back in the fold.
No timeline yet for Anthony Richardson with the injury he sustained in that game. What can Anthony do over the course of this time period to continue the type of development and progress within the offense that you hope to see as he gets through this rookie season?
Yeah, I think with anything, depending on how long this is with him, but just staying engaged, staying focused, in the meetings, at practice, all those different things, and then just continuing to get his body and his shoulder, in the best shape he can. But just staying focused, maintain focus through this process.
Your other quarterback, Gardner Minshew, I don't know how many more ways we can describe just what he has meant to this team, but one way Jim Bob Cooter described it was he's almost like another coach. What does Gardner do to earn that type of an accolade?
I think the way he prepares, the way he sees the game. You know, he's a football guy. He's been doing it for a long time. He loves the game. He loves the preparation. He loves the process of it. And I think when you have that and you're obsessed with that part of it, you're going to have success on the field. And he's done a heck of a job stepping up for us, coming in when he has to come in and make plays.
You know him better than anybody, and he always brings a whole lot of juice and energy, enthusiasm on field, into practices, in the locker room. How much juice do you know he's going to bring going into Jacksonville this weekend?
He's going to bring a lot. Obviously, going back to the team that he was with originally, obviously it'll be big for him, big for our team, and we got to go, have a great week of preparation like we've been doing, and make sure we come out with a victory on Sunday.
Your lone road game of the week is this Sunday at Jacksonville, the team that you faced in week one. Interestingly, they're coming off those back-to-back international games. Where have you seen Jacksonville evolve as a team since you saw them that first week of the regular season?
Just really diving into the tape right now, but obviously they're coming off back-to-back wins, in London. So they're playing at a high level right now. It'll be a heck of a challenge for us going down there. One we're looking forward to, another division game on the road that we got to be ready for.
Coach, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much. Good luck against the Jags.
All right, thank you.
Like when I visualize, it's ending the game by catching a pick or doing something like that. So it's definitely probably number one for me.
Still ahead, Julian Blackmon comes up clutch. The fourth-year safety on the game-sealing interception and the difference he sees in this year's defense. That's coming up on Colts 360.
Come see Zaire Franklin, Blue, cheerleaders, and Colts in motion at Meijer for autographs and a chance to win tickets. Visit us at Meijer in Westfield from 5 to 7 p.m. on October 17th. Go Colts! Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is proud to be the team physicians of the Indianapolis Colts. At Forte, fellowship-trained physicians and staff provide comprehensive, specialized sports medicine and orthopedic care to active patients of all ages. To learn more, visit forteortho.com.
He takes it belt high, backs the throw, in the pocket, looking, gonna chuck it downfield. It's picked off by the Colts, intercepted by Indianapolis at the 50-yard line. And that's Julian Blackmon with the game-sealing interception with 10 seconds to go. Colts are gonna win. An interception by the Colts defense at the 50-yard line, and the streak will die today against the Tennessee Titans.
You saw the play that ended it to seal the victory over the Tennessee Titans and record the Colts' first home win of the 2023 season. The man behind it, Julian Blackmon. Of all the ways that a game can end, is there anyone better than sealing it with an interception?
I don't know. I think that was probably one of the best ways, if not the only way that I imagine a lot of the times is like when I visualize, it's ending the game by catching a pick or doing something like that. So it's definitely probably number one for me.
How sweet is the defensive celebration when you guys take the ball, run it to the opposite end zone, you guys all gather there, and you're all able to hype each other up?
It's my favorite thing to do. That's our favorite thing to do as a defense. Just being able to be together as guys because we work so hard for this, and then being able to turn the ball over and celebrate together is what we look forward to.
What do you do with the interception ball now? I'm assuming you kept it, right?
Oh yeah, keep it for sure. I think I threw it. Like I threw the ball, just so much emotion. But I think Z picked it up and then gave it to the ball guys, and they ended up putting it in my locker today.
Amazing. You get somewhere picked out that you're gonna put it?
Oh man, I'll probably just put it next to my bed. That's where I'll go. Just sleep with it, throw it up in there, just look
Sweet
back
dreams of more interceptions.
Exactly.
I know one of the guys who was so eager to get down there and celebrate with you was Kenny Moore II. He had the interception last week. How much momentum is this secondary building off of right now?
a lot of momentum, and it starts with Kenny Moore. And I also think that it starts with me in terms of the secondary. We pride ourselves in making sure that we have the secondary on lock and making sure that everybody's doing their job. And so Kenny's my best friend on the team, and so just the success he's had this season, and then also him paying it back to me and making sure that we're both on the same page it's been a beautiful thing.
I talked to Juju Brents last week about how significant the leadership has been from yourself, from Kenny Moore within that room. How exciting is it to see young players, rookies in particular, like Juju, and then also Jalen Jones, have opportunities early in this part of the season?
It's so exciting, especially because they're such hungry guys, but humble as well. And these guys are just always willing to just understand or see it from our perspective, from Kenny and I, just from what we've seen on the field. And so these guys are learning very fast and very rapidly, and the best experience is being on the field. So I'm excited for these guys to keep growing.
A second season with Gus Bradley. We've heard guys say we just feel like we can play faster. A second year also for your group with Ron Miles. Where do you see the biggest difference?
I think everybody just understands their role. At the end of the day, we know what the coaches want out of us, and we believe in what they have to teach us and what they want from from week in and week out. And so I think that just helps all of us make plays when they need to happen, and it's been happening so far.
Okay, your job is never easy, so I don't want to say that it's made easier necessarily, but how significant is it when you have the defensive front that you guys have that is able to be such game changers, game wreckers, and in particular affect the quarterback as effectively as they have?
It makes it so much easier, and I give most of the credit to my pick from Tyquan Lewis getting pressure on the quarterback. I mean, that's the reason why I caught it, because he couldn't see and he just threw it up, threw right to me. And so, just having guys like that in our heads is like, all right, all we got to do is cover for 2 seconds. If we can cover 2 seconds, our D-line's going to get there because of how dominant they've been this whole year.
We've talked so much, DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, Samson Ebukam, Kwitipe, Dio, all those guys up front, but we haven't really gotten to spotlight Tyquan enough, but he has been significant. How good is it for you to see your teammate back, especially when you see the injuries that he has been through and what this journey has been for him in the NFL?
It's a blessing, and it's conquering. I see him as a conqueror, and it's just been so great to see him because I saw what he came through. I saw what he went through. I went through something similar, and then just being able to watch him and be the dominant Tyquan that we all have grown to love and know, it's been a blessing to watch, and it's humbling.
You've had time, training camp, preseason practices with both Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew. How has it benefited this defense to have two different types of quarterbacks that you're having to match up with as you then prepare for these regular season matchups, the one at hand this week, Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence?
I honestly think that it's perfect for us just because you get different styles from either one of them. So when you're going against Anthony, you kind of have to be ready for the run, and then you got to be ready for the pass because he's an electrifying player. And then with Minshew, he's more of a vet. He's gonna make sure he gets the checks, and so it just puts us in position when we're playing guys like Stafford or guys like Lamar Jackson. We get used to those just by playing Minshew and Anthony. So it's been a blessing to have both.
Another AFC South game, this one on the road coming up this weekend. We mentioned you got the first home win of the season last week against Tennessee. What has made Jacksonville such a difficult place to play for these Indianapolis Colts of late?
I think that they just have really good coaches, good scheme, overall a good team. And so at the end of the day, we just have to be on it and understand what we have to do this time to beat them. Because last time, we had a chance, but it's just 2 or 3 plays that make the difference in every game. And so I think that we just got to lock in every play, and I think we'll come out victorious.
Every team evolves over the course of the season, especially when you look through those first 6 weeks of the season. Jacksonville evolving a bit. How are you guys better than you were when you saw them in week 1?
I think that we're just coming over the hump of close games, just closing out games. I think that that's the main difference, and then understanding how we look and what we are, and we're a fighting team. We're a team that doesn't give up, and we want to protect that.
Julian Blackmon, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate you. Sweet dreams with that interception ball next to you, and manifest many more to come.
Thank you for having me.
Coach Shane, that was the message all week was, we had to go in there and be physical, especially on our home turf. Hadn't beat those guys in a while and hadn't won a home game in a minute in front of our fans. So, everybody knew the mission was to go be physical, and we had to do that for 4 quarters.
Coming up, a career day for the Colts run game. Zach Moss and Quentin Nelson break down the breakaway 56-yard touchdown and explain how it all unfolded in the trenches. That's next on Colts 360.
This season, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is teaming up with the Colts to shine a light on outstanding small businesses. Indy's our hometown, and boosting local business is just one way we want to thank this great city. Go to Colts.com/Anthem Spotlight to nominate your favorite small business today. Anthem and the Colts, helping Hoosier small businesses score. It's time for the Fordham Credit Union Question of the Week. Zaire Franklin leads the NFL in tackles with 69 so far this season. He's on pace for 234 tackles in 2023. Who holds the NFL record for tackles in a single season? Hardy Nickerson with 214 tackles in 1993. Visit the Fordham Credit Union Fan Forum section of Colts.com to interact with other fans online. Fordham Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams.
What y'all wanted, and we got what we needed. We needed that victory, we got it. It's what you keep believing in us now. Keep believing. We need all y'all fans to keep believing in us. Watch how it turn out.
5 times? Yo, we done got the shot. Shout out to my dog Nello, man. Come on now. Shout out to Young and 3-3. Had to pull off the dub. First win at home, man. By the shoe, baby. Let's go.
That victory, Colts Cam, largely credited to the effectiveness of the Colts rushing attack. In addition to Zach Moss's punishing running style, the offensive line was dominant up front against the Tennessee Titans. That all highlighted by Moss's career-long 56-yard touchdown run. And to break down that play and how it all unfolded in the trenches, here's Zach Moss and Quentin Nelson with our latest Director's Cut.
Third and short for the Colts.
The first thing is what you hear.
Quick shotgun snap for Richardson.
You hear the crowd just going nuts. You hear that, it's usually a good sign.
There they go! Moss off to the races!
You look up and you just see Zach running with a lot of green ahead of him.
I'm not the fastest dude in the world, but it gave me enough space to go ahead and make a nice little run.
Touchdown! Zach Moss rips it away from 56 yards out.
Excellent job by Moss hitting the open gap, and there's no yards after contact here. This is just run straight through the wide open hole and take it to the house. Very nicely done up front.
And they have one of the best front sevens in football. Haven't gone against them for the last 5 years now. You just knew how physical they were up front.
Everybody knew the mission was to go be physical.
And they're going to run it again. Big run for Zach Moss.
Zach's been really impressive this whole entire year. There's been a ton of times where there hasn't been a hole or there's just a little hole and he just gets through it. The way he's been running, it's been really impressive.
When you have an offensive line that allows you to not get touched, you do some pretty special things.
Third and short for the Colts.
Being in third and short, do so many different things in the offense. As a man coverage look, the safety was leaning over towards AR.
AR does the play fake, which stops the backers and stops the safeties from just running to Zach because they have to respect AR.
Our room, the running back room, confidence, when we know we got to run to the left, it's going to work.
Uh-oh. Here's a breakaway. Moss off to the races.
You see a lot of just one-on-one wins. Another man whooping another man.
The 3-tech plays into Braden. Bud trusts Braden that he's going to handle the 3-tech, and he climbs to his backer immediately, and he gets on his linebacker. Ryan has the big one-on-one block, and he's able to get some movement on that guy, and Freelander keeps his guy outside. Then I climb up to the backer. Real big group effort, and just our 5 getting on their 5.
Those guys take a lot of pride in that, and I love being able to have a chance to go behind guys.
This is just run straight through the wide open hole.
Quinn is arguably one of the best at his position. When he's doing that, all the guys feed off of that. This is just a pure play of just everyone executing at a high level.
Big run for the Colts. There they go. Indianapolis inside the 20. Zach Moss the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown!
First thing you check usually is the scoreboard, right? It's so big, you can't miss it. I've done that before. It's always more so for like ball security, because you just never know where a guy is. When you're running pretty fast, the ball can get a little bit away from you. So I think I do it mostly because ball security, just making sure I'm away from the defenders. I always have to end it off with my little bow. I think my faith is the biggest thing. Another part of it is one of my favorite running backs is Arian Foster, and that was a huge staple of something that he always did. Going to the sideline, seeing JT being one of the first guys ready to celebrate with me after that long run, and actually both of those touchdowns is huge. Obviously what he means to the team and to the community. Extremely happy to have him back healthy. Adding him back to the room, that gives all of us confidence. It boosted the team's morale.
That was a huge win against a really tough division opponent. It just meant that much more to all of us. Just having 5 guys playing for each other and playing for this team from the very start to the very finish. It felt like we played a complete game, and we were just so excited and so happy in the locker room after the game.
To do what they were able to do, and then just allowing me space to go ahead and create some things after that. As a back, you can't ask for anything more.
We had a great game on Sunday, but we got another tough opponent next week, and we need to go out there and perform again, and we do that by coming to work every day and doing our best and focusing on what we need to do to get better.
Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us and getting ready for game day on Colts 360. We'll be back here next week with an all-new episode, Colts at Jags, Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff. We leave you this week with a preview of this week's official Colts podcast. You can download that full episode anywhere you get your podcasts. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, I was talking with Ryan Kelly after the game about this, and he made a comment about how what really kind of endeared him to Gardner early on was like that mini camp the Colts had in mid-April before Anthony Richardson was drafted, before anyone knew the Colts were going to take a quarterback. Maybe you had an idea, but before it was confirmed, hey, Anthony Richardson's the guy who's coming into the building, that he ran that like, hey, I'm the starter. I'm going to be the starter. And that's how you have to operate in those situations. Yes. There was no gray area of like, yeah, I'm going to be the starter this week, but next week we're going to take this guy. Right. There was none of that, and that's not how Gardner Minshew has ever operated. Even going into training camp where he was flipping between Anthony with the 1s and the 2s and the offense there.